Welcome to the Sisters in Service podcast, the space where stories from active duty veterans, military spouses, and even military brats finally get the spotlight they deserve. I'm your host, Kat Corchado, Air Force veteran, movement specialist, and the heart behind this podcast. I started Sisters in Service because too many stories from our community were going untold. Stories of resilience, transition, identity, and the strength it takes to serve and to thrive beyond the uniform. This podcast is about connection, empowerment, and reminding each of us that our service didn't end when our military chapter closed. It simply evolved. Sisters in Service is proudly sponsored by Fit for Life Alliance, a space where people are committed to feeling better in their bodies every single day, and by My Sexy Business, where you can own a business that doesn't own you. So grab your coffee, your journal, or your walking shoes, because every episode is an invitation to listen, learn, and lean into the powerful stories that remind us service is a sisterhood that never fades. Welcome to our latest podcast of Sisters in Service. You know me, I'm your host, Kat Corchado. You know, there's a phrase that goes around this time of year, around Memorial Day weekend. And we're talking about this little phrase that sounds harmless but lands wrong. Happy Memorial Day. Now, I know my brothers and sisters in arms and veterans, we don't say that, but maybe you've had someone say it to you and you froze like, what? What do you say back? So if you've ever wondered that, this episode's for you. And yes, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be a little spicy and maybe slightly arrogant about it because I've worn the uniform just as you have. Buried the friends and stood at ceremonies that most people only see in movie montages. Let's start with the holiday soup a lot of people are swimming in. Most civilians, if not all, I have met, have a vague sense of Veterans Day, Memorial Day, or Armed Forces Day. Veterans Day, that's for the troops, right? Memorial Day, 3-day weekend, pools open, big sales, picnics, vacations. Close, but yeah, no. Here's the reality, nice and simple. Veterans Day is for those of us who served and came home. Armed Forces Day is for those currently serving. Memorial Day is for the ones who didn't make it home. Not the troops in general, not anyone who ever wore a uniform. Memorial Day is about those who paid the ultimate price, the ultimate sacrifice. The fallen, the ones whose names are on walls, not on Facebook. So when you hit someone with Happy Memorial Day, especially a veteran or a Gold Star family member, you might think you're being patriotic. But what it can feel like is you're putting a party hat on a headstone. Let me paint this clearly. Imagine for a moment you're at a funeral. The casket's at the front, people are crying, the room is heavy. Would you walk up and say happy funeral or happy burial? I think not. You'd understand that this is not a happy occasion, even if you're grateful that person lived. It's in the name, Memorial Day. Remembering. That's the disconnect with Memorial Day. We can be grateful. We can enjoy our freedom. We can barbecue and be with family. But the core of the day is remembrance, not celebration, not sales. As a veteran, I can tell you Memorial Day is complicated because you see the Instagram posts, you see the beaches, the beer, the Memorial Day mega sale. What you don't see is the vet who goes extra quiet that weekend. The text that says thinking about him or her today. The mom who can't step into a store without giant Happy Memorial Day banners without feeling her stomach drop. So when someone tosses out Happy Memorial Day with the same energy as Happy 4th of July, it hits wrong. That's why a lot of us veterans just give a tight smile and nod and mentally walk away. I try to educate civilians because I've had this said to me several times. And I will politely say, because I feel civilians don't know the difference. And it's up to us as veterans who are living to correct them kindly. Now, let's talk about you. You might be a civilian who generally wants to be respectful, but never got the memo. Or you might be a veteran who hates that phrase, but doesn't know how to correct your family, because that's happened, without turning Thanksgiving into a debate or any get together. So let's give some language around it. Scripted, clear, you can literally steal these lines. If you're a civilian and you want to acknowledge Memorial Day, skip Happy Memorial Day and try, today I'm remembering those who gave their lives in service so we can have this weekend off. Or maybe it's honoring the fallen and their families today. Taking a moment, taking time to remember those who didn't make it home because they were fighting for the very thing we have here today. Short, respectful, and actually about the purpose of the day. And if you're a veteran and you know this day might be heavy, you can say silently to yourself, I'm thinking of such and such today. If there's someone you remember on Memorial Day and you want to share their story, I'd love to hear it. You're not putting them on the spot. You're opening a door so that they understand. You don't have to blow them up. You don't have to let it slide. You can just give them a gentle correction, especially for coworkers, strangers, your elderly neighbor. They mean well. They just don't have the facts. You give them the information without the shame. Or you can really say, I don't really do Happy Memorial Day. It's not that kind of holiday. To my friends who died wearing the uniform. Say thank you for remembering or something like that, but lose the happy. Is that a little arrogant? Maybe. Is it earned? Absolutely. You, we, I have the right to set the tone around something that touches loss so personally. And if you're listening to this as a civilian and thinking, wow, I had no idea, good. That's why we're talking about this. Because here's the truth. Ignorance is normal. Staying ignorant is optional. You now know the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Why happy doesn't fit Happy Memorial Day weekend or Happy Memorial Day. From here on out, you don't get to shrug and say, well, everybody says it. You're not everybody anymore. You have been briefed. Right? So let's wrap this up. Memorial Day is not just a long weekend. It's not just flags and advertisements and 30% off patio furniture. It's the day we stop and say, there were people who died wearing our country's uniform. And I'm not going to glide past that like it's background noise. So now you know. Take a moment of silence before the cookout. Sharing the story of a fallen service member. Supporting a Gold Star, Blue Star family organization. Or simply choosing not to turn a day of mourning into a happy hashtag. So to my veterans listening, especially those who carry names with them every day, I see you. Speak up when you need to. Educate when you can. Take care of yourselves this weekend. So please stay safe. Take care of each other. Until next time. And always remember, it's never too late to start your impossible.